Hello, everybody. Welcome, citizens of Gotham. We are here at the All Thing Comedy World headquarters. My name is Graham Elwood. You're watching Political Vigilante Live. It is Tuesday, October 29th. We are discussing some of the stories of the day, and I'm here with Ron Placone.
Howdy, everybody. Good to see you.
Ron from the show Get Your News On with Ron, and of course, a regular on the Jimmy Dore Show. You just did Jimmy Dore live at the Sycamore with Dylan Radigan. How was it?
It was really, really fun. Dylan is a very interesting dude who is very well-versed in a lot of topics, and he started getting into, the financial sector and stuff like that. So it'll be really cool when those clips come out.
He knows a lot about like IMF and all that kind of central bank stuff.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like at times, you might be able to see it in my face on the clips. I was having a hard time keeping up with what he was saying, but it was really interesting perspective, very interesting stuff. So.
Well, cool. So let me. Oh God, I forget to bring up. Let me show all of the talk to the viewers, folks. If you, go to the super chat icon, and it's a great way to support the show, is to hit the dollar icon like that. Let's go to the live stream. Oh boy. YouTube's new thing is just a raving pain in the ass. God, is it a pain in the ass?
That's so weird. Like an interface gets changed and it's not for the better. It's not awesome anymore.
It's like they designed that. Like, everything's working too well. How can we fuck this up?
Yeah, I think at one point in Mac, they all got together and like, hey, we took a survey. You're all having way too much fun on iMovie and GarageBand. So fuck ya. That's what we're going to do. It's not fun anymore.
It's not fun. Were you having too much fun? Was it too easy to use?
We got to change this.
I got to tell you, I'm actually, my iPhone is a 7 and it's 2 years old, and I'm dreading having to get a new one. Because I know it's just going to be a hassle.
Yeah.
There's going to be some. Remember how you just used to click, click, bing, bang? Now there's going to be some new thing, and these contacts didn't transfer over, and whatever else.
Oh yeah, and the phone call will get progressively shittier.
Oh God.
Like that will just be like eventually that's just going to be obsolete. Like, it's just going to be
the phone. Like
it's just going to only be video calls or something.
Talking on the phone is like a lost art almost. Like having a phone conversation.
Hey, I got to admit, if it wasn't for like a lot of the road stuff, I don't know how often I'd do it. Because that's usually when I do it, when I'm driving, because you can do it hands-free.
Right.
And you just kind of talk. And, like sometimes like friends will text and I'll respond with a call. And they'll be like, what are you doing, you crazy animal? Did you just time travel? You're calling me on the phone? Why
did you break out of jail?
Yeah,
what
right?
happened?
Send a smoke signal next time, weirdo. And I'm like, no, I'm driving. My talk to text is not the greatest.
Right.
We're going to do this the old-fashioned way.
The talk to text thing is like, I say this, and I've even used to talk about this in my act. Texting is great for short stuff. Meet me at 8 or 8:15? 8:15. There's no parking, meet me out front. Quick stuff.
Right.
But a complex series of questions that requires like a what do you think, like a conversation, that takes 10 times as long via text. And then if you add talk to text, it triples the conversation. When it's like, we could have done this in a 3-minute phone call. Instead, I'm like, Ron Placone just said, hey, Graham, should we do a tour in Miami, Tampa, or this town? What do you want to respond? Yeah, and then it's like, fuck. Or we just go, Ron, what do you think, man? We want to do Tampa, Orlando, Miami?
Oh, yeah, logistics. It's better with just a phone call. And then for talk to text, it's always like a little thing that just throws everything off. And then I remember one time, my fiance was texting me that she was like, hey, I'm at the bar. And I was driving back from my acting class. She goes, hey, I'm at the bar with some friends. And, it was a bar down the street from our apartment. And she goes, how was acting class? So I texted her back what I wanted to say, talk to text, but I was just like, it was great. Hey, mind if I stop by for a round? Because I was like, I feel like meeting up and having a drink. So, but what came through was, it was great. I cried downtown. And I'm like, all right, I don't want to send that. Like that's not. And then I kept being like, I kept being like, no. And then, of course, all that went through perfectly. And then I accidentally sent it. So what ended up getting sent to my fiance was, it was great. I cried downtown. Fuck, no. And that went to her. So
she thinks you are having a goddamn meltdown.
Yeah, she's like, what's going on? And then so she calls, and I'm like, it was a talk-to-text malfunction. Is it cool if I come by? She's like, yeah, dude.
Yeah,
holy
whatever
shit.
you need.
Whatever you need right
okay?
now. You should just be like, everybody's volunteered to buy you the drink when you get here. Like, all my friends think you're a psycho now.
Do you need some soup, or what do you need? Like, she's just at the bar like, oh my God, Ron has just fucking lost his shit. Like, what are they doing in this acting class?
She was just like, I just read your text and I immediately ordered the bar pretzels. When will you get here? I'm worried. That's what happened.
Well, folks, I hope this episode makes you cry downtown. That's what I want. I want people to cry downtown. Hello, Karen M., Susan Brown, Fallout, Anna, Hauk's daughter. Hello from Denmark. What's up? We got 94 people watching. Hit the like button, everybody. That's a critical thing to do, is to hit the like button. Humani D, thank you for supporting the show. You're making Gotham great again. Shave your knuckles for justice. Here's your question. If you do the super chats, if you're new to this, because I know I've gotten a lot of new viewers. We just crossed 55,000 subscribers. We're close to 56,000, which is fantastic. Make sure you're subscribed. YouTube unsubscribes people. It's probably just because of their wacky algorithm. It's not that they've been working with the CIA since 2010. Don't worry about it. It's just a tech glitch.
Well, and plus, like, when you subscribe to something, that doesn't mean you necessarily want to hear from it, right? You know, I mean,
right.
Like when I remember I used to be subscribed to Rolling Stone, and I was like, they keep sending me
every
the magazine. Month. What are they doing?
I know.
Like, I didn't know that. I thought every now and again they sent me one and were like, we remember you too. I thought that was how that worked.
I remember when I used to get the LA Times sent to my house, and every once in a while they would just unsubscribe me from a thing I was paying for.
Yeah, they're like, no, you don't do this anymore, right? We thought we were inconveniencing you with our newspaper that you wanted to read regularly.
That you paid and gave us your address for.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what YouTube thinks. Makes total sense.
Total sense. So, Humanity, please ask @Jack to reinstate my Twitter. I don't know who @Jack is, but
that's the guy that runs Twitter. Jack is. Oh. Yeah, I don't think we have that kind of power.
I don't have the juice.
I'm
sorry. I really appreciate it. If I could get Jack to do that, I will. Trust me. So we're going to be answering questions from you guys. I also have a couple stories we're just going to flat out talk about because we live in an insane world. Where's the like button? That's a great question, Philip Butcher. You should just see a thumbs up icon and just hit that. Wherever that is when you're watching the stream. Overnight worker just woke up. Thank you, old gringo. Are you planning on having Max Blumenthal as a guest? Boy, I would like to. So we just heard about...
That was so messed up.
What? I'm going to read this on Twitter because I wasn't planning on talking about it, but I'm glad you brought it up because we should. Because it is... he got busted for feeding people at the Venezuelan embassy?
Well, and supposedly there was some assault that happened, but yeah, which of course is ridiculous and bogus. But even if it wasn't, the protocol makes zero sense. And I think Ben Norton was writing about this on the Gray Zone. He's like, okay, so let's say there's some credence here about this supposed, quote, assault. Why wouldn't you tell somebody there was a warrant out for their arrest if it's been around for 5 months, which this apparently was, so he could have had the option to just show up and address this. Instead, you surrounded his home, and it's messed up on every single level.
So if you can go to the two-shot, I don't know if everyone can see this on the monitor behind us. Aaron? Okay. It's really white. It's blown out. That is very blown out. Aaron, our studio tech, is going to come over and try to fix this. Aaron has been started as an intern for Comedy Film Nerds, and then we sold him like a slave to a podcast company called All Things Comedy. And so now this is what he's...
Now he's fixing the screen.
Look at that.
So if we turn it down, maybe?
I don't know. Look at that.
See what happens.
Or is it an exposure issue with the... Oh,
there it is.
Nice, buddy.
It's good. It's probably a little hard to read for folks, but
it might be. Well,
it's a better picture.
It's a better picture. I'm gonna read it for everybody anyway.
Yeah.
Some of the other graphics I have are bigger, and you can read them. But I just want to follow along. So this is Jill Stein. Tweeted this out 19 hours ago. It says, breaking: journalist Max Blumenthal arrested as police threatened to break down door, held 2 days, shackled for long periods, denied call for trumped up assault charge for bringing food to the Venezuelan embassy protectors 5 months ago.
Yeah.
And she writes, first they came for Max. So this has been sort of trending. Aaron Matei, if you follow him on Twitter, I would. He's been following this. This is from the Gray Zone right here. This charge is 100% false. Gray Zone editor Max Blumenthal arrested months after reporting on Venezuelan opposition violence. So this came out October 28th. The Gray Zone editor Max Blumenthal has been arrested on false charges after reporting on Venezuelan opposition violence outside the D.C. embassy.
Yeah, this is the Ben Norton article I was talking about where, he goes on to say, he's just like, if there was some warrant for 5 months, why wouldn't they have just followed normal protocol for something like that?
Why wait 5 months?
Yeah, and then show up and threaten to break the door down for someone who was just in their home. This is messed up. And that's putting it gently. This is ridiculous.
Yeah, he was arrested on the morning of October 25 on a fabricated charge. A team of D.C. police officers appeared at Blumenthal's door at just after 9 a.m., demanding entry and threatening to break his door down. A number of officers had taken positions on the side of his home as though they were prepared for a SWAT-style raid. For a journalist feeding people, we need SWAT? Why not just bomb him? Why not?
No, don't give them any ideas.
Yeah, no shit, exactly. He was hauled into a police van and ultimately taken to a D.C. Central Jail where he was held for 2 days in various cells and cages. He was shackled by his hands and ankles for over 5 hours in each one such cage, along with other inmates. His request for a phone call, which is a right, was denied. Blumenthal was informed he was accused of a simple assault by a Venezuelan opposition member. So, simple assault warrants this. Mm-hmm. A SWAT team? So simple assault is just like shoving somebody.
Yeah, it makes no sense on any level whatsoever. And second of all, let's keep in mind what was going on in D.C. during that time. There was a coup. There were these people trying to take over the embassy in D.C. Peace activists were inside the embassy, and they surrounded the place so that these people couldn't get food and water. That was happening domestically in D.C., and that's what people like Max Blumenthal were doing. They were trying to deliver those people food and water. Peace activists
but
inside
Ron,
the embassy.
To play devil's advocate here, Venezuela really has a lot of audacity putting a country above American oil. I mean, let's be honest here.
Counterpoint.
They shouldn't. Iran's doing the same shenanigans, thinking American oil is theirs. That you don't, folks. To anyone out there watching, don't put your country above American oil. See, and Iran as well has also the gall of putting a country in the middle of all of our military bases.
There's a lot of selfish countries in the world.
God,
that's true. A lot of selfish country in the world, not thinking about our cars and everything else in our military and industrial complex. But
so what kind of a godless hippie wants to feed people that are held in a...
One that needs a SWAT team, that's
for sure.
One that needs a SWAT team showing up to their house.
Well, I mean, it's like the insane... I mean, I'm glad Dr. Sine reported this because she should know. She was chained to a desk in 2012 for just wanting to join the Democratic debates.
Yeah, thinking that democracy was open to people. Pushing the envelope a little bit, thinking our elections are open and different viewpoints are welcome.
Right.
Kind of strange,
it is.
Admittedly. Yeah,
it is pretty strange. The charge is 100% false. Fabricated, bogus, untrue, and a malicious lie. It's clearly part of the campaign of a political prosecution designed to silence me in the gray zone for our factual journalism exposing the deceptions, corruption, and violence of the far-right Venezuelan opposition. The resist was 5 months old.
Yeah, it makes zero sense. I mean,
the charge was revived months later without the defendant's knowledge. If the government had at least told me I had a warrant, I could have voluntarily surrendered and appeared at my own arraignment. I have nothing to fear because I'm completely innocent. Instead, the federal government enlisted the D.C. police to SWAT me, ensuring I would be subject to an early morning raid and languish in prison for days without even the ability to call an attorney. Wow.
And then here they remind you of, what this is in reference to in the first place. Anya Blumenthal, which I remember, she actually was able to Skype some with the Jimmy Dore show while she was in there. She was telling us in real time what was going on. And, I just had one of those moments where I was like, this is happening in the United States. This is happening in the United States, where these people who are surrounding these peace activists, trying to make sure they can't have access to basic resources, all they want to do is just hold down an embassy. And by the way, those actions were being smiled upon, by the way. The actions of the people who were the violent opposition, they were being smiled upon. This wasn't being reported on at all. And this is happening in our own country. This isn't happening elsewhere. This is happening right in our nation's capital. It's just kind of one of those, oh, fuck moments.
Yeah, it's pretty gnarly. What has happened is most Americans who are getting their news from the corporate media, this is what I guess is the thinking. So especially with just like neoliberal Hollywood types that we know, are friends with, work with, comedians, they hear this and they go, this is crazy. But then part of their brain goes, well, CNN didn't report on it, so how accurate is it?
Is it really that big of a thing?
Is it really that big of a thing? This gray zone, aren't they funded by Venezuela? Doesn't Maduro fund the gray zone? So
I always love when they over scrutinize the funding of independent sources, but it's like, but if you're funded by Rupert Murdoch's Wet Dream or Comcast or Jeff Zucker or Time Warner, no problems there.
Yes, no problem.
That funding is fine. That funding's totally cool.
Like that's the thing. The selective outrage or judgment, it drives me actually insane, because it's like, and I've had these arguments.
Oh, we all have. We've all lost friends.
We've all lost friends. It's hard sometimes because I'm sitting there and they'll say like, oh, gray zone, and they go, RT, it's funded by Russia. And I go, okay, fair enough. Mm-hmm. Then you have to, by logic would dictate, then you would have to apply who's getting every news source, where are they getting their funding?
Right, exactly. And
so if you don't like Rupert Murdoch and what he's doing at Fox, fair enough, that's a great thing. Then you have to sit there, and when Rachel Maddow does a segment on Russia that's funded by Boeing, how does that one not count, and this one does?
Yeah, absolutely. And everyone has this state-run media, blah blah blah. Look, I don't think places like the BBC or the CBC are perfect. I know for a fact they're not. But you think of handing over the idea of news and information to corporations with no types of protection whatsoever is a better system? It isn't. It's infinitely worse. And that's what we have here in the United States.
Yes. It's crazy. So just like, this is Alex Rubinstein. This is from May 7th. The Secret Service is endangering the public with its dereliction of duty. Secret Service standing by as strobe lights are shining. This was all was happening in May. This is you're talking about when Anya Parampil was, it's crazy. This is all from May 8th, May 9th. And I'll put this in the show notes. People watching live, you can just go to this where it's at. It's if you go to, but if you're watching this in the archives, I'll put this link in the show notes.
And you know what? This is worth mentioning too, just as Max's book was great.
Right.
Max Blumenthal's last book was fantastic.
What was it about?
It was, it was just, it started with, I think, like 9/11, and it kind of traced like all the connections to 9/11, to Russiagate, and then everything in between in Iraq, and it kind of traces how all this stuff kind of is connected. And he does it in a very brilliant way. It's called, I think, Management of Savagery or something like that, or something.
Look it up and let us know. While you're looking that up, I will point out the fact that I give credit. Tulsi Gabbard just said we need to open up a 9/11 investigation to see Saudi Arabia's involvement in it, which is like, man, finally we're calling out Saudi Arabia. I know I'm sure they're going to smear and call her a 9/11 truther or whatever crazy, but it's like, wait a minute now, if we're going to investigate this, this was reported on by the mainstream media 18 years ago. that Saudi Arabia, 14 of the 19 bomb, whatever the number was, it was like, we're Saudi citizens. That doesn't, there's no red flags. Nobody asked a question on that. If 14 of the 19 9/11 bombers were Russian, do you think we would be talking about that? Or if they were Chinese,
we'd still be talking about it, yes.
Or if they were Iranian, do you think we would still be talking about that?
We'd be mentioning that, absolutely. Yeah.
What's the book? Did you find it?
It is Management of Savagery.
Management of Savagery.
I think I was right. That was what I said.
Close, something. I heard Savagery somewhere.
Savagery was in there. Management of Savagery. Yes, it's a very good book.
So back to the Blumenthal. He spent 20 hours in jail along Jerry Condon, president of Veterans for Peace, who was arrested after being brutalized by Secret Service officers for attempting to toss a cucumber inside an embassy window.
Another troublemaker.
Wow.
All into peace and feeding people.
Oh, veteran for peace.
I just hope that guy had a SWAT team, too.
Yeah.
Another troublemaker.
Well, did they send the bomb unit in to look at that cucumber?
Yeah, right.
You could. Aaron brings up a great point.
Aaron said you could put an eye out.
You could put an eye out that now it's a weapon. So now we do need a SWAT team and probably a whole, maybe a Navy SEAL unit.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
the cucumber unit.
Investigate that cucumber. It's like organic operatives, I think is what they're called.
Organic operatives. Yeah, so this is insane. Vigilantes. Oh, nice. Aaron Brungart.
Aaron for the win.
Become a political vigilante. That's what I am. I'm a vegetarian lanty.
Ben Norton's great too. I like his stuff a lot.
Yeah. So check this out, and we'll keep you up to speed on what's going on with this right now. I don't know what else is new on this. I will. Let's see what if there's any new information. Aaron Matei, he's been following this.
Yeah, he's been following it pretty close.
No.
Yeah, it doesn't look like it right
now.
No,
looks like there's no, I was arrested. Okay, here's Max Blumenthal's tweet. I was arrested on Friday on a completely false charge manufactured by Venezuelan police related to the embassy. I spent 2 days in jail and was shackled. Here are the facts. Okay.
So he's out now, it seems like.
Looks like, so Max Blumenthal is out.
Looks like he's out.
Okay, that's good to hear. Yeah, but I mean, look, this isn't, are we shocked? I mean, this is the same country that is trying to kill Julian Assange and is jailing Chelsea Manning.
Mm-hmm. The same country that, Edward Snowden's still in exile. The same country where Dana Schlossberg almost got a life sentence for just doing the job of journalism. The same country where Amy Goodman has faced ridiculous charges in the past. Yeah, I mean,
Serena
the same
Shim
country
was killed and they never investigated it.
We are barely in the top 50 when it comes to press freedom rankings. Not a lot of people like to talk about that. We are barely in the top 50. I think we deserve to be lower. And there's a lot of reasons for that. It's the corporate handover of our media. It's the way we treat journalists. It's all the above because we get it wrong on every single issue, every single platform.
There's this great, quote that's been said several times, and it's in numerous places where Kennedy at several times said, we need a free and open media.
Yeah.
We need them to challenge us. Even if it's hard, makes hard and annoying for me as president, JFK said this is part of a democracy.
Hey, Thomas Jefferson, he even said, hey, if I had to live in a society with newspapers and no government, or government and no newspapers, I'd rather have newspapers and no government.
Yeah.
We used to understand the idea of civic engagement in this country and the importance of a free and open press to foster that. And we've really lost our way there.
We've lost everything with regard to an open democracy. It's like when Pete Buttigieg, former Navy officer, who worked for a hedge fund during the last debates, is like, and you and I talked about this when we went live on it. He goes, hey, let's stop all this arguing and debating. No, if they're doing bickering, name calling, that's a little annoying. But to debate subjects and topics, and hey, you voted for this or you supported that, and now you're going, like, I'm going to call you. This is what a democracy is about: a public debate. Mm-hmm. They talk about the Lincoln Douglas debates were famed. They talked about political debate and discourse, and that's what why we had one of the reasons we had over the Revolutionary War was a lot of it was money and property and stuff, but some of it was like the King of England was telling us what we could or could not do.
But to be fair to Pete Buttigieg, he can say red herring in 7 different languages. So he's got that going.
He can't say, I gentrified my downtown and didn't give a shit about the black neighborhood. He can say that in a bunch of languages, which is fantastic. 294 watching. Hit the like button, please, everybody, and share this stream out on your social media. So let's answer a couple more questions here. Stephen Hendrickson. Stephen, thank you so much. Shave your knuckles for justice. Boom, boom, boom. Do you have advice for trying to convince my more centrist, Warren-leaning family and friends to reconsider Bernie? Yes. I've done videos on this. I don't know if you probably have too, but like show them, first of all, Bernie's record, right? When Warren was a Republican, when she was an an open Republican, show them Bernie in 94, in the 90s, petitioning for Medicare for all. Show them Elizabeth Warren giving Trump in October of 2017. She signed on to give Trump an extra $80 billion for the war machine that he didn't ask for. Show her stand. This is all on the internet. I've put videos out on this. You can find it yourself. Show them Liz Warren standing up and clapping when Trump, who she claims to resist to the bitter end, said this will never be a socialist country. This will always be country.
And he wanted to say company.
He wanted to say company.
He wanted to say company.
This will never be a socialist country. It will always be capitalist. She stands and claps and Bernie sits down. Show them all of that. That's what you show your friends and family.
I would say, start even simpler. So I'm assuming that this person's Warren-leaning family, they probably go, oh, you know what? We just got to beat Trump. Trump's terrible. I get that too. I totally agree. So what you say is, all right, well, here's who can beat him. When you really break it down to its simplest terms, people are tired of the Washington status quo, and reasonably so. A status quo politician is not going to beat Trump. We live in an anti-establishment time. You need an anti-establishment candidate to beat him. Bernie Sanders has been on the outside to an extent. He's still an elected official, sure, but he's been on the outside as far as being a politician can go for 40 years. He's the outsider who can beat Trump. Liz Warren has been on the inside for years and years and years, on various levels of the wrong side on the inside. She was a Republican until she was close to 50. People can change, so okay, she changed, but she's still in many ways your kind of by the book, Democrat, political insider. That ain't going to beat Trump, because you know what you need to beat Trump? You need some unlikely voters who weren't going to get up and go to the polls, and you need some undecided voters. She will get 0 from both of those categories. 0. Bernie will get a lot from both those categories.
And I'm assuming if they're centrists who like Liz Warren, my guess is there's probably some identity politics in there. We need a woman. Show them how AOC, Omar, and what's her name? Tlaib all just endorsed him.
That's right.
So show them that.
And show her his team, who consists of Nina Turner and Ro Khanna.
And show the interview I did with Dr. Victoria Dooley, who's like his Medicare for all surrogate. She's a black woman that's a physician that I did this extensive interview with her, and she's like, all I see people coming through the door all the day. I'm giving people, I'm prescribing treatments and surgeries and procedures for them. And many people who have insurance are like, I can't afford that because it'll be too much out of pocket. She goes, this is why we need Med for All. She's a black woman. And I asked her on the show, I go, shouldn't you be voting for Kamala Harris or Liz Warren? And she just laughed and shook her head. She goes, this is the best candidate we need. Mm-hmm. Killer Mike is endorsing Bernie. T.I. just endorsed Bernie.
Cardi B.
Jack White. So we had the lowest black voter turnout in 2016, largely because the black community, many black voters went, look, we had the first ever black president for 8 years and nothing changed. Yeah. So Bernie's policies are what are going to motivate, and he can beat Trump.
Yeah, he can.
There's so much evidence online to show this. So that's what you tell your centrist friends and family. Philip Blair, what's up, Philip? Shave your knuckles for justice. I I thought we supported giving food aid to Venezuelans. Yeah, of course. Only if they're with the fake President Guaido. Balthazar 228, shave your knuckles for justice.
He always does goofy ones.
I love Balthazar.
Does he have a goofy one?
He's got a great one.
Great.
Do you think Graham isn't funded by Big Kale and Ron? I'm funded by Big Kale and Ron's funded by the Lucy Pack? I smell some grassroots funding coming off Ron and flashy positions from Graham. Fishy positions. Yeah, I'm funded by Big Kale.
Big Kale.
Big Kale and the yoga lobby. The yoga lobby. They're yeah, and the plant-based diet lobby. They're pretty brutal. Yeah, I'm bought and paid for. You got it. You got me, Balthazar. Big Kale. Big Kale. Well, that comes from. I showed that video that woman, that old Canadian grandmother that was hired by the oil lobby to do that fireside chat talking about Greta Thunberg. Have you seen that video?
No.
Oh, I'll show it for you right now. It's fantastic. She talks about Big Green. And I was like, I laughed. No. I like spit up my drink because I was like, that's the oil lobby going, they keep calling us big oil. We need let's call them Big Green. So the environmentalists are this big evil conglomerate that's just trying to force their lies down little old mom and pop oil companies. Fucking fantastic. It's so preposterous.
Trying to sell people wind.
Oh, that's God. Big. Yeah. So, and then Ray Foley. Ray, thanks for supporting the show. He says, 2 of my favorite people. Ray, you're one of our.
Thanks, Ray.
You're good people. So let me find real quick I want to show you the Big Green ladies.
So you interviewed her?
No. She just put out this bullshit video.
Oh, and you talked about the video.
Propaganda. I got to show you.
I thought maybe you were like, I interviewed her because she had a change of heart. And she's like, yeah, these people paid me to recite this bullshit. And
that'd be great if she was like,
I thought they were making cookies. Turns out they were fucking with me. They're oil companies.
That I would have mad respect. She's like, look, I just needed the gig. I've been an actor for 35 years. They said if I did this, I'd qualify for union insurance with the actors union. So I just had to do it.
There was good catering. I didn't know they were an oil company.
There was good.
I thought it was a parody thing. Like they were just trying to sell like...
I thought it was a parody thing. Here we go. Yeah, we want the audio. You plug in. How do I plug in?
Grab the little the aux cable that's on towards the front of the table. Other side. The one that's sticking out.
This one?
Yes.
And put that into my computer? This is fun for everybody.
I kind of like I like the setup already. It's just like, listen here, youngin', let me tell you.
It's already condescending. It's already like massively condescending.
You got some things to learn. Listen.
But Greta, just wait. This is my favorite. This is my new favorite character.
Why didn't they just get Dianne Feinstein to do this? She would have done it for free.
Yeah, she just loves condescending to kids. It's fantastic. All right, here we go.
Was compelling, but I respectfully dispute your statements. A child is a miracle, Greta. A child should be able to live in joy, entranced by the wonder of the world, not in fear of the future or hatred of their elders.
Wait a minute. What? Hatred of their elders? Do you understand why Greta's mad and other people her age are mad as the climate's collapsing and there's a 16-year-old girl going, I'm not going to see my 40s?
Yeah, I get it.
You get it?
I get it. Live for today, Greta. Just why worry about that?
A Canadian grandma's just going, YOLO. Like, unbelievable. Were we able to hear that, Aaron?
Yeah, you were able to hear it. There's just a buzz.
All right. Am I touching a cable or something?
I mean, it might be just touching the front of your laptop. Yes.
Really?
Yeah.
How about this? Did that fix it?
No.
All right, folks. You're going to have to listen to the buzzing a little bit.
Big Climate is a $1.5 trillion global
Big climate.
industry.
Big climate.
Big climate, she calls it. Big climate. It's a $1.5 trillion global business. Hey, Aaron, since this computer's busy, can you look up what the what oil makes in a year? What the oil lobby seems to make with all the global oil industry?
They're probably having a hard time getting by.
I know, man.
They're probably just like, man, we had to start a few GoFundMe's because of big climate starving us.
It's starving us to death.
All these marches and protests, and I mean, we still drill wherever we want anyway because we bought everybody. But
well, there's one of their lobbyists right there, a polar bear.
Yeah, that polar bear.
They have a vested interests.
Yeah,
the polar bears, can't trust them.
Okay.
You can't. Ever since they did those commercials for Coca-Cola, the polar bears have no.
Well, they're on the
integrity.
take. They're on the take.
Oh, big time.
Of course, they get money from Big Kale.
Yeah.
Just a quick Google search. The oil industry, OPEC made $711 billion.
So big climate's really got to work hard to
2018.
catch up. Big climate, come on.
They say it's a $1.5 trillion global business. How did they come up with this? The
So
Washington.
double the oil business.
Oh, right. That's believable. That's a believable statistic. So that's just OPEC. So that's not counting what I don't think Russia's part of OPEC. Russia has their own oil. Venezuela and countries like that, they don't have their own. They're not part of OPEC.
Oh, he said billion, not trillion.
Yeah.
7.5. Oh, okay. Oh, okay.
That's just OPEC.
I thought he said trillion.
Yeah. Well, first of all, I wonder how much.
Yeah. This number's ridiculous, but yeah.
So OPEC, just one big oil organization, which is probably the biggest one.
Yeah.
Still, okay, compared to this, makes half, but that's not counting. This is saying the global climate change industry business.
Okay. Whoa. Another. Sorry. Wrong. There we go. There's my mic. The next Google option says that the worldwide gross domestic product for the oil industry makes between 75 and 87.5 $trillion.
So now they're beating big climate.
So
now
no.
that was trillion. Now.
So let's say this number's true, which I doubt, but let's say this number's true.
Well, hang on.
1.5 trillion is what big climate makes versus the 70-some trillion dollars a year.
Sorry, that is the worldwide gross domestic product is between 75 and 87 trillion.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
They make 2 trillion of that.
Who does?
The oil and gas drilling sector.
Uh-huh.
So just the drilling sector. Okay. All right.
So the global industry, though, the global oil industry makes 70-some trillion dollars.
No, that's the worldwide gross domestic product. So
Greta,
all
listen,
industry.
Greta, children are supposed to be having fun. Children aren't supposed to be thinking about hard things like math. Go play in a park like the one in Houston that's surrounded by oil and plastic companies. Go play there.
That one that we
Greta.
went to.
The one
and
we
did,
went to.
and did videos from that was contaminated, that a fan showed us when we did a show in Houston.
That's
That
right.
one? Where,
That
by the
one.
oil
That
refinery?
one. Yeah, the oil refinery.
Right. It's unfucking believable, man. Like, this is just, there's more to this crazy lady.
Greta, it's all built on a faulty premise that carbon dioxide is like a control knob on climate. But science has shown that that is not true. Your ancestor, Svante Arrhenius, not only...
Hold on. So friendsofscience.org, which is who paid for this, do you want to take a guess who funds Friends of Science?
I don't know if they're actually friends with science. I'm questioning that right there. But who funds Friends of Science?
I don't know. What industry, Ron? Just pick one. Cosmetics, the dairy industry, big kale.
Oh, man. I was going to go...
Who funds Friends?
I was going to go with creationists. So I think I was close, but I missed it by a little bit. I was like, is this a Ken Ham thing? That was my first guess.
This is going to come as a shock to everybody out there. Oil companies, they fund Friends of Science.
Oh, oil companies fund it. All right.
Oh, my God.
All right. Okay.
Look, there's an completely independent organization out there called Comedian YouTubers Need to Be Billionaires. And it's funded by, I don't know, the Graham Elwood Super PAC or so. I don't know what, but it's real.
Big Kale funds it.
Big Kale funds
makes
it.
contributions.
Developed the hothouse theory of catastrophic global
Yeah,
warming.
if you want a hot take
He
on
also
global warming, you
amended
should be
his
looking at
catastrophic
1906.
Yeah,
theory.
1906. They had it figured
in his
out.
Not really
paper,
done much since
he wrote
then.
in German. He decided that warming would be perhaps around 1.5 degrees Celsius and beneficial. So when people tell you that the
Let me show you something. Hold on.
world only has 12 years left, they're telling you science fiction, not science fact. Those scary predictions.
Okay. When you watch the video, the fire doesn't move. She's just, this is like, so everything about this is fake. Watch this. When I click play, you'll listen. I mean, this is moving. Lies are moving here, but this fireplace is not moving. So it's a fake.
They couldn't give her.
They couldn't even give her a real fireplace because maybe they ran out of the natural gas that. Okay, just watch.
Come from computer simulations that are based on a worst case
Yeah, it's a green
scenario
screen.
that is so far removed from reality. Many scientists are angry that people are being scared and
She's
fooled
standing in
this
front of
way.
a big green
But
screen.
climate has
actually,
become a big
if you
green
will.
business. That's who's greedy and uncaring. Big Green doesn't mind.
Big Green is greedy and uncaring. Can you believe this person? Can you believe this person? This is
Wow.
like a drug cartel going, I'm just a small business owner. I'm just trying to sell a product. And all the big rehab lobby is
Talking about addiction.
trying to come down on my little. It's a plant. Cocaine's made from a plant. I'm an all natural business. What have I done wrong? This is insanity. How green policies hurt the poor. Shut up. Oh God.
If poor people become poorer from heat or eat poverty, they just want the subsidies and the carbon credits. Let them eat carbon. You said we adults have done nothing. That's not true. What amazing advances we've made in this world. People once lived lives that were solitary, poor, nasty, brutish, and short. That was a good description of life in the Little Ice Age just maybe 150 years ago.
What is she talking about? Oh God.
Greta, we've come a long way since the 14th century.
But
Look at your iPhone, Greta. They didn't have that during the Renaissance. That's why they drew so many naked people.
Be thankful you have an iPad, Greta. Us adults made that. Baby boomers, the generation everyone loves.
And what did you do with it, Greta? You learned information. The nerve.
That iPhone that's made from petrochemicals. But anyway, Greta, don't let Big Green tell you that we're bad. You could be living in a farmhouse.
So, then you might have had to marry at age 15 because people were only expected to live until they were about 35.
She's trying not to laugh.
You say
throughout
that
this
we're
entire
stealing
thing.
our children's
She's
future.
just a hired actress
I
who's like,
disagree.
this is bullshit.
My late mother lived to the age of 93. She was born before the radio was invented.
And if
Her
she saw
father
this, she'd be
plowed the
ashamed of me.
fields.
My grandmother, Greta, used to have coal for cereal, and it made her healthy and strong. You should be drinking oil instead of all of this complaining and fussing about, Greta.
This is going to be Amy Klobuchar's opening speech in the next debate. Be like, so what do you got this time? She's going to be like, my grandmother.
Oh, God, don't let Big Green make me throw a stapler at you.
And a horse guiding a hand plow with a yoke around his neck.
What the hell
She
is
lived
she
through the
talking
Great
about?
It's
Depression when
insane.
many people lived on the verge of starvation.
This is the most boring
She and her
mushroom trip
brothers
ever
fought
that
in
this
World
lady's
War
having.
II. And she lived to see humans land on the moon. Greta. What is Greta?
Greta!
The moon, Greta!
They went to the moon! They didn't get there on salad, Greta.
My mother thought it was cheese! But it's the moon!
These were powered by good, decent oil. That's what it was powered by, Greta. They didn't get to the... You don't get to the moon with a frown, Greta. You get there with a smile. You'll attract more bees with honey than vinegar.
Astronauts don't hate their elders, Greta. They waved to them from space. This is my new favorite thing.
It's my favorite
YouTube
character.
ever.
I've put this woman in like a half a dozen videos because anytime I can get to listen to her talk.
I want to be her for Halloween. I think
Climate denying Canadian grandmother.
I'm the climate denying Canadian grandma for Halloween.
But Greta, if there was like a
Greta,
a Halloween
I'm gonna carry
party
around cookies and shit.
just with fans of our shows, this is who I would go as. But Greta, make sure you put oil in your hair.
We gotta get her to open for us. You think she'll do?
We gotta do shows in Canada.
Yeah.
All right, there's more.
All things humans have accomplished. What a fabulous future you have. And almost all of these accomplishments were only possible thanks to the power of coal, natural gas, and oil.
Wow!
We cannot.
Yep, she said it. You have a great future thanks to coal, and oil and natural gas.
Coal did it all for you, Greta. And if you don't change your attitude, that's what you're going to get in your stocking.
Greta, you should pray to the holy altar of fossil fuels. They brought you your future, you ungrateful little savage. All right, there's more. She's not done. Please watch The Fireplace That Never Changes.
Stop climate change, Greta. But we can be prepared for changes in climate, which, if you study history, you will know that
Oh, just a graph of what?
If you studied history, you know things were shittier when they didn't have electricity. We used to not have cars, Greta.
Greta, if you study history, you know that big wealthy people have always been screwing others over and lying about it, Greta. Now drink yourself a hot cup of motor oil, like my grandmother did. Here's a bunch of red lines going up and down that make no sense.
there are many. Get off the strike line and go to school. Learn to think for yourself.
Oh, that's what she's doing! Jesus Christ! Get off the strike line and learn to think for yourself. Oh, it's madness.
Stop standing up for something and learn to think for yourself.
Yeah.
Why do you have convictions? You're not thinking for yourself at all.
Contradicts everything she said. Basically what she's saying is, Greta, you should be smoking a vape pen and checking out on video games and not giving a shit the way we've programmed other kids your age to do.
My grandmother used to have to eat shingles, Greta. You have an iPhone.
Greta, girls are supposed to be smiling, nice, and pretty and wear poodle skirts, not ask questions about adults. Greta, go find a boy to date. Stop thinking. It'll bring a scurry to you. It'll make frowns don't attract boys, Greta. It's unbelievable.
Don't you want us to go to space again, Greta?
Oh my God. It's basically saying, like, we want you teenagers to be Snapchat filters and video games and vape pens. Stop fucking paying attention to all
If you knew history, you'd know Galileo never went to space, Greta. He wanted to.
Galileo was a hippie liar that created weird numbers that today Big Green calls math. Aaron, you have something to say?
I love that she points out everyone used to live cold and solitary lives. Yet here are numerous examples from my lifetime of people getting outside.
Of people just like, it's unbelievable. Like, oh, I love this. That don't show any climate refugees. Don't show how poor people have been It's funny. This is what the lobby groups do. Everything that the coal and oil and fossil fuel industry is guilty of creating, they turned it back and tried to say Big Green. They said Big Green hurts the poor. Because we know when we were in Houston, it's always low-income communities where they dump the stuff they have.
Yeah, they dump stuff out of planes.
The contamination, the cancer clusters. It's always the poor communities get hit because they don't have oil. Notice, I don't know, Ron, have you seen any oil refineries in like Malibu or Bel Air or anything like that?
Nope. Beverly Hills don't.
No, they don't have them. They don't have them. They just have them down in like working class and lower income communities.
Greta, we used to live up in the trees and not talk to each other. We don't do that anymore. So stop trying to save the trees, Greta. They'll be fine. Go play outside.
Greta, this is why we've been legalizing marijuana. So you get high and shut the fuck up. Greta, stop thinking thinking for yourself. We train little girls to not think for them. Just worry about being pretty or fat. Don't think about the world. Weren't we successful enough in making women just obsessed with their bodies instead of thinking outside of themselves?
Why don't you go collect pogs or whatever it is your children your age are into?
Isn't there a Pokemon for you to hunt down, Greta? Rather than all of this hullabaloo with making the world better?
Curious, so you can't be fooled. And have hope. We live in a world of wonder where science is about inquiry, not compliance. For Friends of Science Society, I'm Michelle Sterling.
That's a true sentence that has nothing to do with what they're doing.
Yes.
Science is about inquiry. Yeah, that's why theses evolve. And whenever they do, institutions like that go, see, it was all BS. Like no, it's an exploration.
Yes.
Science is an exploration.
Do you see the last graphic? It said, please donate. So they're acting like they're this non-for-profit of scientists that are just trying to get the message out because Big Green is squashing them. It's unbelievable.
Please donate so that we can have a real fireplace next time. We want to be able to rent a cottage in the future.
Oh my God, that is just...
Well, I found Michelle Sterling on IMDb.
Oh!
She has one credit in numerous categories: director, cinematographer, actor, writer. She's done one short film in 2012, My Tar Sands Duck Dinner with Andrea.
So this is her niche. This is her niche.
So climate denier actor.
Climate denier actress is a thing. I think it was like she started, what was her first thing? She was like the bad guy in Hansel and Gretel. Then she did the climate denying stuff, right? Was that her thing?
Things really turned for her when her husband died. The Lorax. You remember that guy?
Oh, yes. Look what happened to the Lorax, Greta. Oh, holy shit. So what's her name?
Michelle Sterling.
Oh, Michelle Sterling, my new favorite actress.
Yep,
oh,
me
my
too.
God, my new favorite actress. So that was fun. Let's go back to the 391 people watching, which is fantastic. Please hit the like button.
Hit it for Greta.
Hit it for Greta.
The more likes you give, the more Greta will go outside and play. The world is full of wonder.
Kicking this one with my sleep stories. Big tar sands. Oh my God, this is great. Listen to you. This is not progressive to want climate change to focus on the U.S. war machine. That's crazy. Yeah. Speaking of Pokemon, sometimes this thing is weird. When you search your name, a still from this video comes up with some others. Oh God, this woman's insane. It's crazy. Speaking of Pokemon, there was a huge crowd of 25 adults getting together at Starbucks next to my house. Greta is more principled than those so-called adults. Oh, fantastic. Oh, man. God. She should star as Kathy Bates in a remake of The King Book. Greta's in the CIA. Yeah, hilarious. Yeah, so I've seen some people saying, watch out for Greta. She's controlled opposition. I think that's put out there by Big Oil to cast doubt on what Greta's doing, because here's the thing. Greta Thunberg has become very powerful. She's organizing tens of thousands and hundreds of thousands of people protests. That's powerful. So they got to undermine her however they can. Say she's a CIA asset, which will get people like us to maybe ask questions. No. She's a teenage kid who learned about climate change and went, what? And got pissed off and rallied people.
Yeah, and the fact that like the new generation is caring so much is waking other people up, because it's like it is inspiring to see this generation care so much, because they're like, we want a planet. We want to be on this planet and live our lives and have old age.
It's the Parkland kids.
Yeah.
These kids in Parkland, they saw their classmates get gunned down and they said, the hell with this. We're going to protest.
Yeah.
And people like judge them. And it's like, it's such bullshit. It shows the hypocrisy, because I guarantee you that woman and women and anyone in that generation, you know, we always hear, it's always these kids today. I heard it when I was a teenager. You heard it when you were a teenager. Everyone always like shits on the millennials. Oh, they don't do anything. And it's like, wait a minute. You always say these kids should get more involved. They're all checked out on their iPhones. They're not paying attention. They're just playing video games. All right, here's a kid that's paying attention, doing more than I've ever done in my life for climate.
Right.
And we're going to badmouth her?
Yeah. Yeah, I really don't understand that, especially Especially when some people will be like, hey, my generation, we ended the Vietnam War. Look at these dumb kids protesting climate change.
Yes,
It's like,
exactly.
wait a second.
Yeah, that's what I want to ask that woman. So you were in favor of the Vietnam War?
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Where were you on that issue? Where were you on, I don't know, civil rights? Were you mad that women got the right to vote? Crazy Canadian grandmother. But Greta, women shouldn't vote. They should be counting coal and having oil fires. Like,
Yeah. Yeah, especially like the older I get, the more I'm just like, dude, I think every generation in so many ways was exactly the same. There were some great things and some not so great things, and we've all had our pros and cons. Everyone, the boomers, Gen X, millennials, Gen Z, all of us.
There's a lot of, yeah. And again, it's always a small percentage of people that actually cared and were activists. And like I hear friends my age, I'm a Gen Xer, say the baby boomers, they got involved and then they finally just checked out and all got high. And well, that was by design, because again, a movement gets big. The intelligence community, you start really doing research on what the intelligence community has done. They infiltrate and they cause dissension within organizations and groups. That's why like the early hippies and stuff were radicals. They were like protesting. They were anti-war. They were all that stuff. And they infiltrated it and made it more about getting high and getting laid and stuff like that. And even like when I hear friends of mine like, oh man, those baby boomers, then they all checked out and became, Wall Streeters in the 80s. I go, okay, yeah. I go, but what did Gen X do? Did our generation? What did we cure? What did we fix? What did we do?
Mm-hmm.
We're really good with Star Wars references.
Which is important. And
but like, you got to look in the mirror a little bit. Cause I remember being, in my early in college and in my early 20s, everyone was all activated and wanting to be involved. And we all, got involved. I remember voting in the 88 election was my first ever election. And then 92, I backed Jerry Brown and all this stuff. And then, you start working, you get a job and you're kind of politically active and kind of not though.
Certainly, yeah, and again, it doesn't apply. Did some boomers just go to Wall Street and say "fuck off"? Sure, but a lot didn't, and have been fighting the anti-war fight for years and years and years. We meet people like that all the time at our shows, at rallies. So, I mean, it's just one of those things. Like, I mean, I remember this was like kind of my first, kind of exposure to, I guess, something going on that theme, like when Bush won in 2004, and I was just so crushed. Right. And I remember I said to my dad, I was like, God, my generation couldn't stop Bush. And he's like, well, my generation didn't stop Nixon. Yeah. We don't win every time, dude. We don't. In fact, you might want to get used to losing. Yeah. Which Nixon, as far as politics goes, that's good advice if you're a lefty in this country. Yeah. Unfortunately, that's what happens most of the time.
They elected Nixon twice.
Yeah.
People forget that. He got elected twice before he got impeached.
Yeah.
So 408 watching. Smash the like button. Louise Brooks. Thank you for supporting the show, Louise. Give the CIA time. 9/11 will be a Ukrainian plot. WMDs all around. Good point. Excellent point. Sam Dean, what's up, Sam? We will see you down under next month.
Yes.
Ron, where are we going?
Australia. We're going to be in Australia next month, November 14th. We're going to be in Melbourne.
Almost sold out.
Almost sold out. Get your tickets now. November 15th, Adelaide. November 17th, Sydney. And November 22nd, Perth.
Yes.
RonPlacone.com for tickets. GrahamElwood.com for tickets. Get them.
We'll see you down there. We'll see you down there.
Can't wait.
And then we got some shows in Southern California in December. Where are those, Ron?
December 13th, we're going to be at the Ventura Harbor Comedy Club. And December 14th, we're going to be right here in Los Angeles at the Dojo Comedy Sycamore Tavern. We're going to be getting ready for the 2020 dates. So we're going to be doing longer sets, maybe doing some political vigilante game show stuff, getting ready for our 2020 tour, which we're coming to a lot of places.
Yes, we are stacking it. We already have dates in February through May now.
Yeah, almost. We're just about to confirm a couple dates in May, which Cleveland, Detroit, we're coming.
Yes. So we've already got Seattle. We've already got Portland. We've already got San Francisco. We've already got
Tucson.
We've already got
Orlando. And Miami.
Just got Miami. There's a new tour date. I haven't put it on my website yet. Is it on yours?
It is up on mine. So if you want Miami tickets, RonPlacone.com.
Miami sold out last time.
Yeah, so get them.
Get them. Sam Dean wrote, Trump, Mr. Burns, are they booing me? Gets Smithers. Oh, no, sir. They're saying Bone Burns. They're cheering for you. Yeah, that was great. Trump getting booed at the World Series is just everybody saying lock him up. I mean, I think
were you outraged like Morning Joe, or were you?
It's so funny to watch.
That show is so stupid.
He's so ridiculous.
That show is beyond ridiculous.
How it shows how out of touch the corporate media is.
Oh my God. It's like, hey, the world is burning. Here's some fellow rich people tone policing you.
Yeah.
This is the news. Really?
So shouldn't the news be going, wow, that many people at the World Series aren't happy with this president? We should talk about that. Not stop booing a president. This isn't what America does. What? Where are you? Where have you been?
And I'm about to show my baseball ignorance here, but it was in Texas too, right?
No, the game was in D.C.
Oh, it was in D.C. Okay, all right. But is Texas is in it?
Yes, Texas is in it. So
okay.
Texas is in it. So I'm sure there was plenty of Houston fans at the game, but it was a home game for the Washington.
In
D.C., which D.C. typically as a city is more left leaning, even if the White House is right. But I mean, there's a lot of.
Well, it's a baseball game too. I mean, you're going to get a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
I mean, it's any sporting event, you're going to get a little bit of everything and everything in between. What is the name of DC's baseball team?
The Nationals.
Okay.
The Washington Nationals.
All right.
Yes, they're a fairly new organization.
Okay, I was going to say I don't follow baseball. Admittedly, I didn't know DC had a baseball team until right now.
It's obvious you don't follow baseball.
Probably didn't even need that first part.
Anyway, that was fantastic. Jason Link, what's up, Jason? Thanks for supporting the show. Howdy, Ron and Graham from mid-Michigan. What's up?
What's up? We'll see you in Detroit.
Right in there. Yeah, we're going to be doing a show right in here in the Detroit area, maybe Ann Arbor. So check that out. Ray Foley. Ray, thank you so much for supporting the show. The propaganda has been relentless in my lifetime. Chomsky said the propaganda model. Check out Jim Corbett. Yeah, you're right, man. Good point. Yeah, that's what we're saying. It's funny. Like once you start paying attention, see the propaganda tactics. This like grandmother shit is hilarious. It's like the best sketch on comedy out there. Like it's.
Well, and the groundwork has been laid out by media theorists in this country for years and years, and all those theories still hold up. I mean, theories from Jacques Ellul, theories from Noam Chomsky, theory from a guy named Todd Gitlin, which, if you're into propaganda, look all these people up and read what they wrote. I mean, Todd Gitlin laid out a roadmap of how propaganda in the corporate media works towards social movements. He started with the SDS in the 60s, applied it to everything since, and it works like a charm. I mean, first you trivialize it, then you marginalize it, then you try to just minimize its effects to try to stamp it out. Because if you're the corporate media, what do you like? The status quo. What does every social movement threaten? The status quo.
Yep. 495 watching. Please hit the like button. Louise Brooks. Hey, Louise. What's up? Shave your knuckles for justice. Did you see the comedian who called out Weinstein at the young artist venue? If so, I think she rocks. Oh yeah, I heard about.
I saw that. Yeah. I saw the video. Yeah, she did rock.
She just.
So it was.
I read a transcript of it. I didn't watch the video.
I watched the video. So apparently, and I've only read a couple different things, and I only heard like the one side of it, so I don't know. But allegedly, he was invited by the producer of the show because the show was meant for industry. Like it was meant for industry to be at. And one comedian got up there and she called it out.
Yeah.
And she got booed and told to shut up. And she just kept going. And some people did cheer for her. And then another comedian got up and he did the opposite. He kind of like kissed ass. And then one audience member just kind of called it out and was like, this is bullshit that he's here. They kicked her out.
The rich protecting the rich. That's what they do. Even when one's a fucking rapist.
Yeah.
Harvey Weinstein is a rapist. He should spend the rest of his life in jail.
Yep. Absolutely. It was hard to watch, but yeah, I mean, shout out to that comedian because she, and I think it's been covered since. I think like NPR and some outlets have picked it up, which, good for her, and I hope it helps her career.
Sure.
I do forget her name.
Yeah, I want to give her a shout out. I want to mention her name on the show. So, Carl Knight, what's up, Carl? Shave your knuckles for justice. What are your thoughts on Max Blumenthal getting arrested last Friday? He was supposedly assaulted someone outside the Venezuela while it was being occupied 5 months ago. So, I don't know. This came in a little over a half hour ago, Carl. I hope you saw we just talked about the whole segment on the show. We went over that. So,
to give you the cliff notes, no big deal, nothing to worry about. No, just kidding. It's completely outrageous.
Yeah, it's completely outrageous.
Completely outrageous.
And we just checked Max Blumenthal's Twitter 15 minutes ago. He's out of jail. He was in jail for 2 days. It was complete bullshit. And this show, if you're watching live, I always keep it up as an archive. And I'm even going to cut up some of these segments and drop them as individual videos. So the Max Blumenthal will be a segment. Canadian Grandmother will be will be a crazy segment.
It's going to be a killer talk to text segment.
Did you find her name, Aaron?
Yes, the comedian's name is Kelly Bachman.
Kelly Bachman. Mad props to you, Kelly Bachman, for calling out that rapist piece of shit, Harvey Weinstein. Hey, Hollywood, if you still support him, go fuck yourselves. Fuck you for supporting that rapist asshole. But I understand you get money from the CIA and you're probably dealing with Epstein and you had your own pedophile rings and stuff. So I get it. You know, money's money. Yay, Hillary. Riley Rage. Shave the knuckles for justice, Riley. Buckle up for first woman president, Kim K. 2024. Trump Kardashian is the new Bush Clinton. There's one party elite versus the poor. I know. Go stream my music.
Wouldn't that be, if that's the next dynasty, Trump Kardashian?
Oh, it's not out of the realm of possibility.
No, it isn't.
If she ran, she would get votes.
She would. Yeah,
she'd get a lot of votes if she just said, I'm running, and just posted videos of her, you know, in a tight outfit talking about running,
like literally running, like her in a tight outfit, literally running.
I'm going to make America pretty again.
I'm running, but for president.
Everyone's going to get their own hair care products or whatever she would run for. Big Baby Zubas, shave your knuckles for justice, Big Baby. Did y'all see that ProPublica about Dan Gilbert? No. Did you? Wasn't aware of it.
Not familiar with that.
Sorry, brother. Old Gringo. What's up, Old Gringo? Shout out to Real Progressives with Stephen Grumbine. Hello. Thank you, Old Gringo.
It's Joy. Savage Joy.
Oh,
Savage Joy is on Real Progressive.
She's fantastic. I love Real Progressive. Savage Joy is great. We've both been on her show.
We both did our show together.
Yeah, live in Philly.
In Philadelphia.
That was
awesome.
awesome.
In that like stripper room.
And that's
awesome.
That weird stripper room.
It was a lot of fun.
A lot of fun. First time I've ever performed. Well, no, I've performed at an actual strip club before that had a stripper pole on it. But
so have I actually. Now that I think
both
about
perform at strip clubs.
Yeah. But this was. Are there strippers in this room? Nope, we're doing political talk.
Yeah.
Like that was my second choice.
I was coming for naked dancing, but
this is what a pleasant surprise.
Progressives taking down the system. I'm all in.
I'm all in.
Take off clothes or the powerful. I'm all for it.
That's right.
Cut-a-Phil, what's up, Cut-a-Phil?
That'd be a hell of a fun fundraiser, by the way. Taking off clothes to take down the powerful.
You'd raise money.
You would.
I like watching a couple of Putin buddies chatting up these conspiracy facts just like the next guy, but it's best to leave the subject matter to authoritative news sources that have the resources dollar side. Yes. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I too think Greta should just go out and play. Just go out and play, Greta. Yeah. Life's too short.
Don't make trouble, Greta. Go play with your friends. Stop with all of this fixed climate talk.
Listen, Greta, if you really wanted to sow discontent, you would just make memes. That's what I do. I make memes. Billions affected.
Just bitch on social media without real action. That is what the world needs more of.
If you make Facebook ad, it could be seen by up to 200 people, Greta. Then you win election.
Not... There is not enough apathy in America, Greta. We need more apathy.
Thank you,
if Greta Thunberg actually watched this, she'd be like, what the fuck are these guys doing? Are they on my side? I don't even know.
Greta, you need to have more sarcasm, Greta.
I was on board when they were making fun of the grandma, but now I'm confused.
I don't get it. Now they're talking these bad accents?
I don't get it.
Arthur Granopoulos. Thank you, Arthur, for supporting the show. Tertius Fume. Ron, please ask Graham to stop singing as Shatner.
pack my bags pre-flight.
Please keep singing the Shatner.
0 hour 9 a.m. And I'm going to be high as a kite by then.
No, Shatner never dies. Old Gringo, shave your knuckles for justice. I'm 56 and I learned from Millennials Daily. Yeah, man. The whole thing, and I this is something I actually got to give my dad credit for. He's in his 80s. He's been retired for a long time, but he was a college professor. And he was never these kids today. He was always like, the most he would say is it's a generation gap. Just
yeah, and that's fine.
That's
acknowledging
fine.
that. That's what a professor should be like.
Right.
I mean, my dad's a professor too, and he's that way. You know.
Oh, it's just a generation gap because he remembers being in the 50s when everyone was like, "You hula hoop rock and rollers," you know.
Yeah.
And he was like,
and then it was you long-haired hippies.
Yes.
And then it's like, you new wave weird. You doped out grungies with your big jeans. And then it's just like, you hipsters with your coffee, you know, and keep going down
keep on the line. I mean, there's that famous quote that's like, children today are disrespectful and rude. And it's like Socrates, 300 BC or something like that. There's this famous quote, you know, and it's just like, so it's good that you do that. And any sort of, you know, blaming a generation. I mean, we're all victims of being born in America and being fed this bullshit propaganda.
Yeah.
We're all victims of it. And luckily, you know, all of you that watch this show, the 435 that are watching right now, I hope you've all hit the like button. We're all victims of how we were raised, the family, the country, the environment, the religion, the political background that we were born in. And hopefully if you wake up at some point as an adult, you start doing your own thinking, your own research. And then someday, hopefully you lead a movement and a Canadian grandmother shames you in front of a fake fireplace.
That's when you know you've made it.
You made
That's
it.
when you know your generation has arrived. Where's the Canadian grandmother throwing shade at this?
When I get shamed in front of a fake fireplace, Ron, that's when I know this show has really made it.
Oh, totally, man. If it's a real fireplace, then it's like, this person's this is an imitation grandmother.
But Graham, you need to drink more coal rather than your hippie teas, Graham.
Coal made your comedy career possible, Graham.
You should be my grandfather surfed on a last slab of coal. That's how the first surfboards were made.
The first comedy club stages were built from coal. They needed to stand in barefoot, otherwise their shoes would get too dirty, Graham.
Dolphins love oil spills, Graham. Let them swim in it and enjoy the life of a oil-soaked dolphin.
All right, let's go to another one. Jason Links. What's up, Jason? Thanks for supporting the show. Gen X, an underrated, ignored factor in this election. Yeah, you know what it is? Here's the thing Ron and I can tell you firsthand from doing progressive comedy tours and doing Jimmy Dore shows live all over the country, but really the progressive tour especially, but even the Jimmy shows. We've had, there's no age, ethnicity, sexual orientation, religion, atheist. There's none of those groups that we have not seen at one of our shows.
Oh, totally. We've seen families, and Jimmy gets that a lot
Yes.
too. And yeah, we've seen families where everybody watches the show together. We've seen I saw a mother and son. They were both fans of the show. Vets.
I mean,
people. One person celebrated their 21st birthday at one of our shows.
I've seen teenagers all the way up to people in their 80s and everyone in between. I've never, we're both straight white guys, right? So I've done shows all over the world. I've had a little bit of a following. I've had people follow me from TV or Comedy Film Nerds or being on Doug Loves Movies or whatever. And most of the audiences, podcasting gives more diversity. But to be honest, most of the audiences were white people. Until we started doing this progressive comedy tour, until I started doing this. And then out in the audience is everybody. I mean, it's every
people from different countries.
How many Persians have come up to us after shows and gone, thank you for talking anti-war and not wanting to bomb Iran. Thank you so much. I got family over there.
Yeah.
You know, I can't go visit them right now. You know, all throughout the Middle East we've had people from Central and South America.
We have people from Russia being like,
Yes.
hey, thanks for understanding that this neo-McCarthyism is nonsense and for helping us laugh about it.
There was a guy at our show in Miami that was sold, a Russian guy who was hilarious. But I remember
was hilarious.
he was a funny guy. And I videotaped the two of them, and people in the comment sections like, wow, that guy Ron's talking to us does a great Russian accent. I was like,
His is better than Ron's.
really better than Ron's for good reason. But I remember in one of the conversations we had with him, he kind of expressed like people are like giving him a hard time. And he's all like, what the fuck do I have to do with the Russian government? And people were like getting his, and he was like, thank you. He's like almost in tears. Like,
Yeah, I
thanks for
remember
not, when I was just in Russia, people were like, not only was it like fans of this show and the Jimmy Dore show that came out to see me, that were happy to see me, but just regular Russians were like, you're an American that just wants to learn about our culture?
Yeah.
You don't just think we're all Putin puppet communists infiltrating your people were like, so you were already in Europe and you just jumped over. And I said, no, I came specifically to come to Moscow. I've never been here. And they were like, thank you. And they like wanted to show me around and tell me stuff. And this one woman who was like in her mid-20s was a promoter for the show in St. Petersburg. And she's like, her dad was a cab driver. He's like, my dad wants to drive you around St. Petersburg and show you this city. And it's on my YouTube channel. And he was a guy that lost his job in the cargo port. He had a really good like logistics job in the port. It was a big port town. St. Petersburg's a big port town. Obama put sanctions in 2014. He lost his job. And he's been driving a cab.
Mm.
And I remember asking him, were you mad at Obama or the American government or anything? He goes, no, I'm not angry, just fact. And then he took all this pride showing me all over St. Petersburg and the history of it. And he wanted to meet me because I wanted to learn about him.
Yeah.
So that's the thing, going back to this, like, I'm all for whatever. I mean, like, look, if the young people who are in college and have student debt, if they mobilize to vote for Bernie because he's going to wipe out their student debt, great. We need everybody to wake up and vote and get involved in this more now than ever.
Oh, yeah, because the only way, Bernie's making it out of the primary is if people are so loud that they can't cheat. I mean, it needs to be overwhelming to the point where the powers that be are like, okay, we can't steal this one.
If we steal this one, they're going to burn it down.
Yeah.
That's
what needs. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the type of, they have to be like, okay, we have to just let this happen. And once he gets in office, we'll try to stifle him as much as we can.
We'll try to fuck him another way.
Which will happen if Bernie's, they will try to stop him as much as possible. But
Keith M, thank you, Keith. Thanks, guys. Granny Petrol literally made me laugh till I cried.
Granny Petrol!
That's her name.
Granny Petrol.
Granny Petrol.
Yes.
Granny Petrol.
Granny Petrol.
Granny Petrol.
Write down our Halloween costume. We got
hashtag Granny Petrol.
Be so awesome when kids come trick or treating. You're dressed up as Granny Petrol. Like, glad you're enjoying life and not thinking, children.
Here's some chocolate covered coal morsels.
Snort this before bed.
Brush your teeth in oil like Greta should.
Coal, the ultimate hard candy.
This is fun with the studio guys, right? So I want to do more of the studio stuff because when it's just me in my apartment, I start to go bananas.
I feel that.
Yeah,
I'm the same way.
And you're not laughing.
No.
You're just reporting some horrifying story, wanting to hang yourself, and then you're like and subscribe, and I'm just like staring off into the abyss, and then in my dark apartment.
I feel like I really bring it, and my co-host Lucy never gives me a laugh. Just never gives me a laugh. I'm like, come on.
I don't want to judge your co-host because I don't want to say anything negative, but I don't know if I don't know if the chemistry's there.
Yeah, I mean, it's weird. It's like no other show is just like, oh, I'll just jump off the table when I feel like it, not be on mic anymore. Just kind of, I'm not even in the camera.
I mean, can we go to the 2-shot, please? Wouldn't it be a little weird right now if I just got up and then just kind of whisked my tail across and then left? Wouldn't that be a little
preaching to the choir, man? Preaching to the choir. It'll be like in the middle of a thing, just whatever. I'm just
went meow
meow meow.
And I left.
It's just like so what is your thought on this? You're just gonna show your butthole, all right? That's your insights. That's all you got.
Show your butthole for justice, everybody.
That's right.
Just gonna show your butthole.
No, I think that's her protesting. Actually, that's what I think. It's International Cat Day, so she's had a very good day today. I made sure it was a good day. Good International Cat Day for her. Gave her some extra treats and what have you.
Carl said it's not funny to laugh at old people. It's hilarious.
Laughing at propagandists is fun regardless of their age. That's an ageless thing to laugh at.
If they had another I'm sure there's some video they're concocting, if they haven't put it out already, with like a teenage girl going, "Come on, Greta, you shouldn't look at science." Like they're gonna.
It'd be so awesome if they had a cliche from every generation. That'd be like you know what I mean? Like just like they had like this old like hippie looking person to be like, "Dude, Greta, come on, man, like it's gonna be okay." And then
Gen
they had
Xer with like a
Gen
thing
Xer
with his
like
Pearl
long
Jam shirt or something. Yeah.
He's just like, "Man, it's just smoke pot and don't care, you know." Like Clinton played the saxophone. Like they just had the most ridiculous cliche.
Clinton played the saxophone.
They have like an '80s with like a Morrissey style pompadour and be like, "The world is full of crashing bores, Greta." Just.
Oh, fantastic. Mage and Bull 17, right on. Shave the knuckles for justice. Bernie has 30 days to get on the ballot in Virginia. Haven't heard him even mention it. Does he even want to win? I wasn't aware. Is that true?
Bernie's not on the ballot in Virginia?
Virginia, I find that hard to believe. I would think he's on the ballot everywhere.
Yeah, I've not heard of this.
I haven't heard of this at all.
Familiar.
I'm not saying you're wrong. I haven't heard this, and I think more people would be talking about it, I think, right?
Yeah, I would think so. Yeah, sorry, I'm not familiar with that.
My fault if I don't know. Yeah. I put my hands up. I'll put my butt in the air like Lucy.
We want justice, but all we can give is a cat butthole at the moment.
Plain Glass Windows, thank you so much for supporting the show. Thank you for carrying more than your weight on the Epstein story. One of the censored stories that we aren't supposed to talk about. It goes deep. Yeah. So I'm going to be covering more about that. Well, first of all, thank you. I like I said, I'm going to stick with it. For those of you new to the channel, I have a Jeffrey Epstein playlist of all my Epstein videos. And I also have a playlist of all the videos that have been demonetized since May. Coincidentally, many of them are Epstein videos. So Google, who owns YouTube, has made it pretty clear they don't want me and others to talk about the Epstein stuff. They want it to go away. So I can't make any ad money from the Epstein videos, but I'm going to keep doing them. I'm not backing down off of this at all. And I just got the unsealed FBI documents from the Finders, which is this horrifying sex cult that basically the CIA was propping up.
Is that the thing? There's a movie about that on Netflix?
Yes.
Really?
That's the thing? Okay, I gotta watch
What's
it.
the Netflix movie called?
The Finders.
It's really called The Finders.
Yeah, I think
See, I haven't watched it yet. I gotta watch it.
Is it a doc or is it a script? Is it scripted?
it's a doc, yeah.
Yeah, I've heard about it. I've not seen it yet, and I have to watch it.
Well, then I want, because there's a 334-page document that just got released. Elizabeth Lee Voss from Consortium.
So maybe you can just watch the movie now, and not read it. I mean, that's a lot of pages, bro.
Well, what I want to see is, so what happened is, and I'll even show you this. What happened was there was this Department of the Treasury, the Finders, did this investigation. Okay. And
oh, wow.
This is the 11-page. This is just the Customs Service. What happened? They were selling kids and they were transferring them across state lines, which is a customs. That's why the Customs Department got involved. It's horrifying. It's horrifying.
Yeah, that is horrifying.
If you read the FBI document, there's all this redactions taking all these names away. But this guy, basically, this is the police report of the Finders, and it's pretty insane. And the agent that found it, he started to do investigating, and it's like they found this guy, these two men with children at this park, and that's where they uncovered it. And they contacted the FBI, and Elizabeth Lee Voss has gone into it more, so she was I have to go through. I'm gonna have a Skype interview with Elizabeth Lee Voss later this week. But in the 334-page FBI document, this is just the report, the 11-page report, it shows how he starts uncovering that this cult had, and this is the thing I want to see about the doc and Netflix. He uncovered that they weren't just some cult. They had foreign passports. They could travel all around the world. And it's like, what hippie cult had that kind of access? And uncovered that the CIA basically ran this.
Oh, jeez.
And then he got told to shut up, and they started doing that age-old tactic of, oh, he's a crazy lone wolf. He doesn't have the support. He went out off his own. He's nuts. They started smearing him.
All right. Yeah, so I look forward to learning more about this, and I got to watch that movie on Netflix as well.
Yeah. Yeah, this is all in Tallahassee. I started reading it, and one of the things they were doing, the finders, were raping girls, getting them pregnant, and then selling their children. It's good stuff.
Jesus. Okay.
Yeah, I read that a couple days ago, and I just had kind of a dark day. I just had kind of a...
That's
heavy.
it.
Ramon J. Martinez is the special agent that uncovered this, and then the FBI started to kind of block him and tell him, don't worry about this.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's crazy. And the DC police, yeah. I was advised that all the passport data had been turned over to the State Department. So we found all these passports, and then they turned it over to the State Department. In turn, advised Miami PD that all travel and use of the passports by the holders of the passports was within the law and no action would be taken. This included travel to Moscow, North Korea, and North Vietnam from the 50s to the 70s.
Wow. That's...
How many hippie weirdo cults got to go to North Vietnam, North Korea, and Moscow when Moscow was the Soviet Union?
Yeah, I mean, this is during... Yeah, like when...
The 50s to the 70s.
Right. When you think of that...
Cold War.
And then Nam conflict, too.
That's
Vietnam.
Vietnam.
When you look at that span.
Yes.
Wow.
The individual further advised me of circumstances which indicated that the investigation into the activity of the finders had become a CIA internal matter. I'm going to do a separate video on this because I know you're at home right now. You can't read this, but I will do this. I will show you these clips in bigger, more expanded detail, but I just wanted to give everyone a little taste. The MPD report has been classified secret and was not available for review. I was advised that the FBI had withdrawn from the investigation several weeks prior and that the FBI Foreign Counterintelligence Division had directed MPD not to advise the FBI Washington field office of anything that had transpired.
Nothing to see here, folks. We're good.
No further information will be available. No further action will be taken.
Wow.
No action to be taken on the basis of this report.
Yeah, because there was nothing alarming in that report. Why would you want to take any action?
In the middle of the Cold War, while we're at war with Vietnam, and North Korea is also a part of still an enemy, supposedly, no red flags on that.
No red flags. Wow.
This is, and again, and I will show this on my regular video. This was part of the Freedom of Information Act. This is not some wingnut. This is their actual report they just put online. They dropped it all Friday afternoon, hoping no one would pay attention. And people like Elizabeth Lee Voss and myself, she was like, Graham, she's been following this Finders thing for a while.
Mm-hmm.
And so when the Epstein stuff came up, she was like, while she has found no ties to Epstein and the Finders, the CIA connections are similar. So supposedly Epstein, not that Epstein was working with the Finders, but the CIA was involved with Epstein and the CIA was involved with Finders.
Right. Oh, geez. Wow. Yeah, that is something. How do you publish a report like that and be like, no, nothing. No, there's nothing else to do.
Don't worry, guys.
I think we got it.
I think
we're
good.
fine.
We're good. Don't worry about it.
What?
Don't worry about it. So that's the thing, Aaron, getting back. I want to watch this Netflix doc and see if it's like a real doc or it's like the CIA doc. That's like some crazy customs agent went a little nuts and he found some stuff, but he was bad. Because what they will try to do is make it seem like isolated incident. Crazy sex cult in North Carolina or Florida, wherever in Florida. Couple of bad apples. Awful what they did, but we got them.
Yeah, no, I don't know. I mean, I've heard good things about it, but I don't, I can't speak to how deep or not deep it goes.
I'm going to watch this doc tonight. And then I'm going to do a video on this in the next couple days.
Yeah, do it.
And I'm going to let you know what's bullshit and what isn't. So, yeah.
Let me make sure that's a real thing.
Okay.
Now I'm like having doubts that it is the documentary.
Are you thinking the family? Because the family is about that
is on
religion.
there. Yeah, that's on there.
The Christians that actually fund the prayer breakfast and they help write legislation to get.
Yeah. I've heard of that. Yeah. Then there's the Keepers. That's about the Catholic Church.
Yeah, I might be wrong, guys. Sorry. I don't think
so there is no.
Yeah, I don't think there's
I think
anything
it's
on
the
this.
family is the one I was thinking. Yeah.
Yes, that's what I thought.
Sorry, guys.
No one's talked about this for good reason.
I still want to watch The Family.
Family's a good one to watch.
It's a good one? All right. Well, I still got to watch
It shows
that.
how evangelicals have been helping
Yeah.
write legislation and buying politicians.
And The Keepers I've already watched, and I recommend that. That's really
Keepers
powerful.
is so powerful. I
it's,
watched that when it came out 2 years ago.
It's heavy.
And you see the Catholic Archdiocese paying lawyers to discredit witnesses.
Yeah.
And basically saying repressed memories aren't real. They're just like bad dreams. That's the Catholic Church did that.
No, I know. Oh, yeah. I watched it. And then there was that. Oh, there's so many. I mean, Hear No Evil was another big one where it's like that one priest, they just shuffled him around and he kept abusing and raping kids. Oh, God. Oh, boy. Anyway.
Hey, Graham, how come you're not a practicing Catholic anymore? I don't know. I can't put my finger on it. I just can't find the time. I can't find the time. Big Baby Zubas, thank you for supporting the show. I'll be at the Detroit show. Is it Ridley's Castle?
No, it will not be. But we are about to confirm in Detroit, and we should have all the information very, very soon.
And we're going to have Cleveland locked in.
Cleveland will be locked in very soon, too. Mark your calendar for May 15th in Detroit, May 16th in Cleveland, and we're just working on finalizing the details.
And the 15th, we're going to try to get, I've reached out to Go Bananas in Cincinnati.
So 14th.
Which would be
May 14th.
Which would be May 14th.
Yeah.
So I haven't heard back from them, but if you live in Cincinnati, email Go Bananas Comedy Club, because I've performed there before, and say we would love to have the Progressive Comedy Tour come. And that kind of stuff helps. You have no idea.
It totally
a tweet
does.
saying bring Graham and Ron, that kind of stuff helps because they get enough of those. Because I just texted the club owner, who I know he's cool, but he gets a million comedians texting him a day saying, give me work, which
That's a very popular club. It's a really cool club.
It's a great club.
They get a lot of inquiries. So if you want to see us there May 14th, please let them know that.
That always helps because it's a business. So the club wants to know that Ron and I can sell enough tickets. So if a bunch of people email them and say, bring them, they'll go, oh God, these guys can sell tickets. So all that stuff helps. And that helps in any city. Like any city.
Yeah, and if there's a Midwestern city you want to see us in, email us, let us know that, and we do the best we can.
You got it. Sam Dean, shave him, Sam. Did you see that Fox edited out the booing at the baseball game? No, I didn't see that, but it doesn't surprise me.
I don't know if he means like Fox News, but like when I watched the
baseball game.
Yeah, when I watched the game and Joe Buck said that the president was here, you couldn't hear the booing. It was reported by people on Twitter who were at the game. When they showed him on the big screen in the stadium is when the booing started, not when Fox showed it.
Oh,
so maybe that's it. But I couldn't.
That could be it. Yeah. Okay.
I wouldn't put it past Fox News to remove it, of course. But
of course, Joe Buck didn't mention it or anything that people were booing. He just said,
no.
"There's the president."
No.
Yeah.
I think it was before the booing even started.
Because all the videos I saw were just like fans on their cell phones
Exactly.
posting people booing and chanting "Lock him up."
Yeah. That's how I first heard about it. Was people in the stands.
Okay.
Tweeting about it.
Good to know. Jason Link, what's up, Jason? Sean Atwood has great Epstein content. Interview. No, and I appreciate that. You guys mentioned Sean Atwood to me numerous times about Epstein. I'm aware of what he's done. I got to reach out to him. I'm not like blowing you off or like, yeah, whatever. No, I want to talk to him, but it's just, I got to go through this 300-page FBI document and then do this stuff. Like, so it's a lot. I will eventually get that. What also, again, same principle. You guys emailing Sean Atwood also helps too. I mean, telling me to email Sean helps. And if you email Sean and say, hey, you should talk to Graham Elwood because you guys both do Epstein stuff, that stuff, we'll make that happen. This case ain't going away, and I ain't backing off of it. So if I don't get to Sean till next month, then so be it. So, but I'll get Sean on the show, if I can. Brian McManus, 455 people watching. Hit the like button, everybody. Brian McManus, I'm a Gen Xer raised by a silent Gen parents with 2 Gen Z kids who are woke as fuck. The kids know more than we think they do. They deserve our ears. That's a great point, Brian, when people discount kids, because here's why, more so than any gen. So let me just give a quick history here. The last time 18 to 25-year-olds showed up in mass to vote was when they were getting drafted to go to Vietnam. That's when they went, I don't want to go to this bullshit war. That's when they started showing up. That's when they started protesting on college campuses. We had all these college protests. We had Kent State. We had all that stuff.
Oh, yeah.
So since then, there's been no draft, and they've tried to keep the youth tuned out.
Yeah, and when you look at some of the spikes, I mean, 77, there was a little bit of a spike. And then 2008, there was a big spike. I mean, Barack Obama got a ton of 18 to 29-year-olds. And then whenever there's not a spike, look what happens. Reagan, Bush, Trump.
Super old guys.
Old guys, exactly. So, and you bring up a great point, is the youth of today have smartphones. Like, I didn't start using the internet till I was in my 20s. I was 30 when I had my first cell phone. Now you've got 10, 12-year-old kids with a smartphone, which is more sophisticated than the computer that put a man on the moon.
Right.
So what that says to me is what you're saying, Brian, which is, especially look at going back to Greta and the Parkland kids, look how quickly they get mobilized. Because they're all on social media, and all of a sudden every teenager's like, hey, they're protesting in this other country. Kids my age are walking out of school on Friday. I'm in Omaha. I want to do that.
Right.
I'm in Tallahassee. I'm in Atlanta. I'm in LA. I'm in Chicago. I want to do that because it starts trending. And they know this. That's why they're afraid of these kids. That's why they're hiring Grandma Petrol to say, Greta, shut your fat mouth and go inside.
Every city needs a Grandma Petrol to stand outside of the school with cookies.
Come warm yourself by this fake fire.
Have these oil bites.
Take strawberries and dip them in hot oil the way my grandmother did on the prairies.
So you're right, Brian. You're absolutely right. And you seek, and the thing about kids, if you only expose them to the video games and the nonsense, that's all they're going to do. But you start waking them up, and their friends start getting woken up, because that's the thing about kids. You want to be accepted. You want to be. So if the cool crowd is all going to the protest, then your kids are going to go to the protest.
All of a sudden, the protest is cool.
Yeah, man.
So
I was just thinking we should start a Twitch channel where we play video games and just talk about climate change. Like the whole
dude, that's brilliant.
Instead of calling each other the N-word or
Yeah.
whatever people do on Twitch.
Wow, I've never been on Twitch. Is that what happens on Twitch? Jesus.
I don't know.
It's horrifying. But yeah, no, I see your point. That's really subversive.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. We've talked about it on the Jimmy Dore show. We've talked about it all over the place on our own shows. And I'm really hammering this point home, because the ruling class has all the money and they control the message on so many levels. We then have to push our message hard. And that means all of you watching, you might only have a couple hundred people following you on social media, but when someone on social media posts how we going to pay for Medicare for all, always pose the question, how come nobody asked us about war?
Yeah.
How come nobody asked this? And we got to push our message out there.
And also remind them that we're paying more now.
We're paying more
now.
Yep. Get the facts and point them out. Bernie's plan is going to cost $34 trillion. Well, currently we're paying $50 trillion.
Yeah.
So Bernie's plan
costs $50 trillion.
Costs $50 trillion. So Bernie's plan will be cheaper.
Mm-hmm.
Just stick to the facts and hammer them home. And they can't fight that.
It's almost as cheap as Big Climate.
Greta, the Sierra Club is run by fascists and crazy people.
Nom de plume, Pename. Thank you, Nom de plume. Is al-Baghdadi a cat? How many times has he been killed or mortally wounded? And what's with throwing a dog into the sea? Handler be damned. Yeah, that's a crazy situation. I haven't followed that as much because, and I probably should, but admittedly, anytime I hear like, did you hear what Trump did? I'm always like,
yeah.
What are you distracting me from now? But I know this is apparently he killed this high-level terrorist and he's taking credit for it.
And then everybody, like the Mick Resistance is like, oh, patting him on the back now. Like Nate Silver tweeted, he was like, can't we just let Trump have a good day here? And I'm like, man, I love the logic of you guys. I love your logic of Trump's insane. It's scary that he has his finger on the nuclear button, which is true. But yeah, Trump's insane. He has his finger on the nuclear button. Isn't that so scary? Let's only praise him when he drops bombs or kills people.
I know.
That adds up. That makes a ton of sense.
Yeah, the left, that's when whatever, Fareed Zahid, whatever, who said Trump became president today when he bombed Syria.
Yeah, when he bombed Syria, he became president.
That's when he became, that's the left, the so-called lefty liberal media. Brian Williams goes, I'm in awe of these rockets. So, So when Trump does war, everybody loves him.
Yeah.
When he pulls out from war, that's when both sides line up together against Trump.
Yeah.
When he's like, I don't want war, that's when the right and left goes, ooh.
We live in a country where when you drop bombs, you're considered presidential. When you question why we're dropping bombs, you're considered controversial. That's what's backwards about our politics.
Yeah. That's why we have no anti-war movement. We had one during the Bush administration when he was starting this illegal war in Iraq. And then when Obama got in charge and just, sure, he pulled boots off the ground, but then drone striked and special op the fucking Middle East to death.
And tortured some folks.
And jailed more whistleblowers than my predecessor. The left didn't give a shit. The left went to sleep. The anti-war movement went to bed. We're done. No war. As long as Obama's doing war, then it's okay.
Mm-hmm.
He dropped more bombs than Bush. And when I say that to my neoliberal friends who think Trump is the first bad president we've had, they always go, well, they don't want to hear it. Just like Trump supporters don't say, oh, he never lies.
Yeah.
I find very little difference between the diehard Trumpers who say he never lies and these fucking neoliberals, many of whom are friends of mine that I even do other podcasts with in this fucking room, tell me,
That's like Gore Vidal says, the United States have amnesia, man. I mean, whenever, for me, the hardest one is like Bush, and whenever there's just like, I mean, it's unbelievable, a president who talks like this, and it's just like, Bush and Cheney should be in jail for war crimes.
War crimes.
War crimes. They should be in prison.
Not Dancing with Ellen.
Yeah. And they're like, well, yeah, but this is not, we've never seen anything like this. Yes, we have. He just talks more bluntly. That's the only difference. He is the GOP. That's all he is. He is the result of our one-party our one-party monopoly.
Yes.
Our money party. He is the result of all that. When you have two choices, a right-wing party and a neo-fascist party, and you're supposed to pick between them, and they're both bought by the same people. He is the result of all that. He just has no subtlety. Yes. He's not some rogue.
I know. It's unbelievable. They don't want to hear it. They just want... And the thing that scares me is they would probably be happy if Mike Pence became fucking president, and as long as his tweets were nice, they would settle down.
Some of them literally would. I had this, and I feel bad because this is a friend of mine who's a comic and a super nice guy, but we literally had this conversation. I was just like, why does it matter to you if it's going to be the same horrible policies? Like, do you really just want somebody who talks nicer? And he goes, well, yeah, man. I mean, what would you rather have? Like a broken down car or a broken down car with a piece of shit at the top? And I'm like,
I want a functional car.
I want a functional. Exactly. I was just like, dude, are you serious? You just want someone who will make you feel a little bit better because they don't like.
It's like we're all abused children that have been abused for so long that it's like, I just want a dad that's only drunk and beats me some of the time. A parent that drunk and beats me every day, that's awful,
Yeah,
but this one, at least we go out in public and pretend we're not in a horrible, abusive family. Like, it's all fucked.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. Just talk nicer so I can feel better. You can still do all the horrible things.
All right.
Just sound nicer when you're doing it.
462 watching. We're going to wrap up here in a sec. We've been going for an hour and 45 minutes, which is great. Sam Dean. Thank you, Sam.
Sam.
This is like a Ferris Bueller's Day Off prequel about how a young Mr. Rooney became so cynical, starring Ron Placone as young Mr. Rooney. Yes, you, Ron. Nice. Tertius Fume. Does Ron's tattoo say "I heart Trump"?
It says one more time.
Oh, really?
Yes.
In reference to a band thing, right?
Yeah, I mean, in reference to a number of things. I got it a long time ago, to the point where I don't even naturally know which arm it's on.
That was great.
Yeah,
you didn't know which
I totally
arm
looked
your
at the
own
wrong
tattoo
arm.
was on.
But yeah. It
was
is the name of one of my favorite Cure songs, so I guess that's part of it. But
And I ran. No, that was the Flock of Seagulls. I don't know.
yeah, no, it's a different song.
Oh, and Show Me, Show Me, Show Me. That's the Cure, right?
That's the Cure.
Yeah, I love that
is
song
the
in
Cure.
college.
Yeah.
Aaron, you look like you have something to say.
I'm more of a Pictures of You fan.
Oh, it's a great song.
Oh,
yeah.
well,
Yeah,
no.
yeah.
Two music guys are going to make me feel stupid.
But yeah, my tattoo says one more time.
I think it says I heart Trump. Stop lying, Ron. Jeff Winslow. Jeff, you're making Gotham great again. Please watch 350.org.au, DACO. You're an Australian. That's Aussie speak for documentary. They say DACO. Accelerate before you come to Oz. It goes into climate change in Australia, then Adani coal mine and our useless politicians. Thank you, Jeff, for that. Because Ron and I both want to get as much up to speed on Aussie politics as we can, because I'm going to try to talk a little Aussie politics on stage if I can find some jokes about it.
Absolutely. Does Australia have their own Grandma Petrol? That's what we need to know. If you know anything about that, please email us. Come on, Greta.
Hello, Greta.
Just put a shrimp on the barbie. Greta, relax.
Put some coal on the barbie the way my grandma used to make. I guess it's Grandpa Cole down there. We have horrible accents. We will check that out, Jeff. We will go to 350.com.au to watch that. Accelerate. Mage and Bull 17, thank you. Is it true? Mobilize.us/ it's true. Sorry. Mobilize.us/ Sanders SVA / needs thousands. Okay. So this is going back to the Virginia needs. Bernie needs to register in Virginia. Okay. I wasn't aware of that. I don't know why he would not. Maybe he's just like.
I'd imagine he will. I'd be surprised if he's not on the ballot in any state when it comes time to vote. So
that would be really.
But yeah, I'll have to look more into it.
Listen to Tropical Fuckstorm, badass Aussie band. Okay.
Nice. Tropical Fuckstorm. Awesome.
Oz Prime Minister is a rape apologist evangelical con man. Jesus Christ. Where are we going? What are we getting ourselves into? Well, can't be worse than America. We have had many bisexual or gay POTUS. Okay. They have to get signatures down in Virginia. All right. Cool. I like the name Tropical Fuckstorm. Who could not like the name Tropical?
It's a pretty cool
Fuckstorm?
name.
There's a comic that I like, Joe Sib, who used to be in a punk band.
Yes.
And so now he's like in his 50s or whatever, and he's got a daughter, and he talks, and he still dresses like a skater punk.
Oh, yeah.
I love Joe.
Yeah. He just did my show the other week.
Oh, he's awesome.
Yeah.
So is this bit in his act? Maybe you heard him say it. He goes, his daughter came up to him and say, "Hey, Dad, do you know about toxic masculinity?"
Yes.
And he goes, "No, but they sound awesome. Let's see them in concert."
I want to check them out.
I want to check them out.
He did that joke. He did that joke at my show the other week, and like half the audience were like my musician buddies, so they loved him.
Right.
You know, I mean, it was Joe's great. I love that
Joe
guy.
Sib. All right. Well, thank you, Mage and Bull 17, for bringing us up to speed to that. I'll look more into that and talk about it. Cut a Phil. When will you guys be in the Northeast again?
We are probably going to hit the Northeast in August.
That's our plan.
We're not quite that far out yet as far as, but we're getting there. I mean, we're about to, we're hoping to confirm everything for May very soon. Then we're going to go into June. So, we're trying to get this stuff locked in as far in advance as we can, because we want to hit as many places as we can before Election Day.
That's the goal. We want to have at least one weekend. If not, some months we'll have 2 weekends. Going to as many places as we can, and places that were really successful, like this last East Coast tour was so successful.
Yeah, we'll be back.
We'll do DC, Philly. I don't think we'll do Baltimore again because we realize Baltimore is just too close to Philly and DC.
Yeah.
So
we'll do DC, we'll do Philly, we'll do Boston, we'll do New York, and then we're going to come a little further north this time too. So
Yes.
Vermont, we're trying to get to you.
Maybe
Maine,
Burlington.
we're trying to
Yeah.
get to you. So we'll see what
I
happens.
think that's the
there.
goal. If we can add like maybe Burlington or Portland, Maine or something like
Yeah.
that, I think
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
the goal, to add on to the East Coast
And
tour.
if you're in those cities, there's a comedy club up in Burlington, Vermont. Let them know you want to see us.
Yeah.
Let them know you want to see us. And if you're in Burlington and you want to see us,
Or Portland, Maine.
or Portland, Maine.
That helps. Kate! Shave your knuckles for justice. Work on the NFL thing with Ron. You're so busy. Yeah, I'm going to do more NFL stuff. So one of the reasons I did that Joe Biden campaign video yesterday was I was reading all of this Finders FBI stuff, and it was just like, I read it Sunday, and I had a conversation with Elizabeth Lee Voss, which is great, and like I said, I'm an interviewer, but it was just like, I was a little like, Sunday night was a little like rough. And so Monday, I had this interview set up with that guy, Adam Gray, who's got a full-time job, but rents are so bad in the Bay Area, he has to live in his car, and it was a really, really profound interview. And then I decided I want to do more political, like, comedy videos. And so I just thought of, that's why I did this Joe Biden hair-sniffing 2020 campaign video. And I want to take some of my bits in my act, like the NFL bit, and make them into videos. And I think I'm going to do more NFL commercials, and maybe I'll get a kid to animate them.
Yeah.
You know, like NFL, plant-based life.
Got like a reoccurring segment.
Yeah, and just drop in videos, especially like on the Epstein shit that I know is going to get demonetized. So like, I'll drop them as separate videos just to be funny videos, but I'll also put them in there in my regular videos to seem like they're an ad in the middle of a video. So yeah, Kate, I will do that, and I'm sure Ron will help me, and we'll talk more about that. But we'll make that happen for sure. Okay. Stop doing that. Okay. 461 people watching. A Gray! Shave your knuckles for justice. Did you see Zuckerberg get bitch slapped by AOC? Yes.
Yeah.
Loved it. Loved it.
Yeah, that was pretty great.
It was fantastic. Pat the Batman fan. Pat, you're making Gotham great again. Pat has the single biggest, of my knowledge, I could be wrong, Pat, collection of Batman memorabilia of anyone I've ever met in my life.
Well done, Pat.
And he took me into it. It was great. He had to blindfold me, and it's in a secret location.
It's in a cave, if you will.
I don't get it. Pat said, this is a great format for you guys. Thanks, Pat. So after we did 2 weeks ago when we did the debates, and I really love doing it. I know you love doing it. And everyone was like, man, this was the two of you guys. Like, we've done this together on the road, and I have access to this really cool studio. And Aaron, you know, like, we've got this 3-camera shoot, so he can switch around to the camera angles, which I obviously don't have in my apartment. So it's a really, look, there's a,
Look at that.
Oh, look at that. Oh.
And I've said on record, I will not go to Graham's apartment.
Well, you're not allowed in Santa Monica. We can't have too many Valley people come into the beach
because 818 till I die.
Well, yeah, it fucks up the sand and everything like that. You know what I mean? Like, too many Valley people, you guys bring all that heat and stuff down there, so it messes up the waves.
See, I'm a Pasadena person. No one wants us in any feuds. They're just like, Pasadena? All right, whatever.
Whatever.
Yeah,
just stop.
that's nice.
So, yes, we are going to, my goal is to do 2 live streams a week. My normal super chat, which is every Sunday at 3 p.m. Pacific. And then sometime during the week, pending on schedules, we're going to be in here either doing this format or we're going to do post-debate stuff, which November 7th, next week, there's a climate like town hall on the Weather Channel.
Yeah, don't call it a debate, Graham. Everybody's ideas are welcome. Some people have a plan, some people don't, and that's okay.
That's okay.
At the end, everybody gets the participation trophy.
Oh, great.
And then we go live and we're like, fuck your participation trophy.
Fuck you. So November 7th, I believe it starts at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 o'clock Pacific. According to the Weather Channel's website, November 7th, it'll go for an hour. And as soon as it's done, Ron and I will go live. So we're going to do live after the debates, whenever those happen. I'm going to try to do 1 political vigilante game show a month. whenever I can schedule that. And then we're going to try to do a couple of these a month where it's just Ron and I talking about the stories of the day and answering your questions. So thank you so much for loving this format. We love it. I will be doing more of these. And I'll keep doing my videos in my apartment. Oh, fuck. It's almost 6 o'clock. Shit, I got to go.
How many more we got?
We got... Whoops. I have such a hard time with this. Okay. Why is it not showing me that last one? Come on, motherfucker. Okay. Sam Dean. Sam, thank you so much. Look at it this way. If Trump is impeached, Pence will become America's first gay president. So that's a good thing, right? You know he's gay. You know Pence is gay. He's so closeted gay. You know what I mean? Someone's going to come out and say, look how gay he is.
And then he'll shock himself.
Yeah, and then he'll shock himself for being gay. Look what you made me do. Got to shock the gay out. Cool Cat M just got here. Have you talked about Blumenthal? Yeah, we did. We did
nothing to worry about.
It's all good. Just trust the government. So yes, as I said, if you just got here, this whole chat will be archived and available almost immediately as soon as we're done. And then I will cut up a couple of the segments and drop them as individual videos, which will be the Blumenthal thing. I will cut up for sure, and making fun of the grandma.
Grandma Petrol. Hashtag Grandma Petrol.
Hashtag
Let's make
Grandma
a trend.
Make a trend.
Everybody tweet it.
Hashtag Grandma Petrol.
Here, let me see if anyone did.
And then Mr. Uchi, Mr. Oruchi, did you see the Humanist Report say no rigging now? No, but I don't. That's crazy.
No rigging. What
Like
does that mean?
They're
Like
not
they're not
rigging
gonna
anymore, or they stopped, or I'm not sure what that means. But
Yeah, I'm not sure what that means either. I mean, they're for sure gonna try to cheat Bernie again. Like they're for sure gonna try.
yeah, for sure. Kit's Corner. Hey, Graham and Ron, thanks for recommending Icosa to me. Have you seen Kyle Kalinske versus Charlie Kirk debate? No.
Was that a Politicon thing?
Yeah. So first, Icosa, if you go to icosa.org, it is a search engine. Instead of using Google, use icosa.org, and they claim, I don't know that much about the organization, but they claim that every time you use them for a search engine, they donate a tree. So I just want to find alternative search engines to not give the big G, which is working hand in glove with the CIA for the last 10 years. I don't want to give them my money. So when you use Google, you are helping support them. I know sometimes we're all busy, and I've done it. I've just gone boom, boom, boom. And then afterwards, I'm like, oh shit. But I've been using icosa.org more and more. And I heard Kyle Kalinske at Politicon debated Charlie Kirk, but I haven't watched it yet.
Yeah, I haven't. I heard Kyle did really good at Politicon. Yeah. I mean, Kyle's a good debater, but that's all I heard.
Yeah,
I recommended some food places to some people that tweeted me. If I missed anybody, I apologize because I used to live in Nashville, but that's all I know as far as Politicon goes.
Thanks, Ron.
I wasn't invited.
Neither was I.
I know I wasn't invited.
I don't get invited to any of those things. That Minds event was the one thing I got invited to, which was really cool.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't get invited to Politicon or anything like that.
No, me neither.
Whatever, man. I don't need any of them.
Well, hopefully we'll be coming back to Nashville to do our own show.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Guess what?
Yeah.
You're invited to the Progressive Comedy Tour. Go to grahamelwood.com or ronplacone.com. That's our show. Ron, tell people where they can find all your business.
At Ron Placone. Follow me on Twitter, youtube.com/Ron Placone. Come stream your news with me on Get Your News On with Ron. And, of course, ronplacone.com for all those tickets, man. Should we tell everyone where we're going again?
Yes. So November, we are going to Australia. November 14th, Melbourne. November 15th, Adelaide. The 17th, Sydney. The 22nd, Perth. December 12th, I'm doing the Comedy Film Nerds 600th and final episode, which Ron will be on.
I'll be talking about the greatest movie ever, Falling Down.
Okay, fantastic. Fantastic.
I don't know what I'm going to say. I know
Please talk about Falling Down.
I will for you. I feel like that's appropriate. It's not my favorite movie ever, but I like it.
Yeah.
Maybe more than one should. I don't know.
Yes. Absolutely. I will concur with that. It's definitely more than one should. And then December 13th and 14th, Ron, where are we?
We are doing some stuff right in Southern California. We're going to be at the Ventura Harbor Comedy Club on December 13th. December 14th, we're right here in Los Angeles at the Sycamore Tavern Dojo of Comedy Room, where we're going to be getting ready for our 2020 date. So those are going to be fun shows. We're going to be doing long sets. It's kind of like a preview of what's to come. So come on out.
And then in February, we are are in San Francisco. We will be adding a Sacramento date to that. In March, we are in February. We're also in Tucson.
Yeah, don't forget about Tucson, Arizona, San Francisco. March, we got Orlando and Miami, and we should have tickets for Tampa very soon. But Miami and Orlando available now. April 24th, Seattle, Washington. April 25th, Portland, Oregon.
Yes.
Yeah, and then May, we are coming. We're getting an Albuquerque date in May, and then we're also doing some Midwest dates, Cleveland, Detroit. We are about to just lock all that in, so mark your calendars, Cleveland and Detroit.
And we're looking to find show dates the weekend before the Democratic Convention in Milwaukee in July. We're probably going to be in Chicago that weekend before, and maybe even Milwaukee itself the Sunday before, if we can find a venue. So the convention is Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And we might do some shows after. We're not sure, but we're definitely going to do some sort of kickoff DNC convention shows in Chicago and Milwaukee.
Yep.
So check back, GrahamElwood.com, RonPlacone.com. Like, subscribe, share these videos, watch the ads all the way through. When you click skip ad, I don't get paid. You can also support me, please, at patreon.com/GrahamElwood and also rockfin.com/GrahamElwood, which is a blockchain cryptocurrency platform. Thank you, Ron, for watching. Everybody, you are all making Gotham great again, and shave your knuckles for justice.